Imagine walking into a courtroom and seeing the defendant sitting in front of the judge. Except there's one problem. The defendant has been dead for 9 months. This actually happened in Rome in the year 897. The dead man was Pope Formosus, and what happened to him became known as the Cadaver Synod, one of the strangest episodes in the history of the Catholic Church. Formosus had been pope from 891 until his death in 896. But during his reign, he became involved in the brutal political struggles surrounding control of Italy. After his death, his enemies gained power. And his successor, Pope Stephen VI, absolutely hated the political faction Formosus had supported. But Stephen had a problem. Formosus was already dead. So he dug him up. Yes, Stephen ordered Formosus's corpse to be removed from its tomb. The body was dressed in papal robes and placed on a throne inside a church.
Then the trial began. Stephen sat in judgment, and a terrified deacon was apparently forced to speak on behalf of the corpse. The accusations were mostly political and religious violations allegedly committed by Formosus during his life. Of course, Formosus couldn't defend himself. He was dead. So the trial went about as well as you'd expect. Formosus was found guilty. His papal robes were removed. 3 fingers from his right hand, the fingers traditionally used for giving blessings, were cut off. Then his body was dragged through the streets of Rome and thrown into the Tiber River. Stephen VI had seemingly achieved what he wanted, publicly humiliating his predecessor and destroying his legitimacy. But there was one problem. The people of Rome were horrified. The political situation quickly turned against Stephen. He was eventually imprisoned, and in 897, only months after the bizarre trial, he was strangled in prison. And the story became even stranger. Later popes annulled the Cadaver Synod, and Formosus's reputation was restored. Think about how extraordinary this entire episode was. A pope died. His enemies dug up his corpse. They put him on trial. They found him guilty. And then the pope who ordered the trial was himself killed in prison. The Cadaver Synod wasn't really about punishing a dead man. It was about something much more powerful: politics, legitimacy, and revenge. Because sometimes, in the struggle for power, even death isn't enough to make your enemies leave you alone. If you want to hear more tales of crimes, subscribe and hit the like button so you don't lose the next videos. Peace out.